Hello friends, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we would be talking about two important terms in accounting. They are debit and credit. See, as we know, accounting is nothing but recording the transactions, recording them, summarizing them, analyzing them, interpreting them, and then whatever the result is, that is communicated to the users of accounting information. So the first step in accounting process is the recording of transactions, recording of business transactions. Now this recording of business transaction is done through double entry system. Now what is double entry system? As we have seen that double entry system is nothing but recording a transaction at two places. One is on the debit side and the other one is on the credit side. Now what would be the rules as to which account is to be debited or which account is to be credited? We will be discussing that in today's session. So when we talk about the rules of debit and credit, rules can be either the traditional rules or it could be the modern rules. Traditional rules are also called as the golden rules of accounting, which we would be discussing in this session. And modern approach or the American approach, we would be discussing about this in our next session. So now talking about the traditional approach, what traditional approach is? See, traditional approach is very simple. It says the whole accounting can be divided into three basic accounts. The whole world of accounting can be divided into three different type of accounts. One is the personal account, the other one is the real account, and the third one would be the nominal account. If you understand the meaning of these three terms, then the rules of debit and credit would be very easy for you. Now let's see what a personal account is. Personal account means all those accounts which are related to persons or institutions. Say for example, Mr. A is a person, whereas Messrs. ABC Limited is an institution. Or say State Bank of India, it's an institution. Say Reliance Industries Limited, it's an institution. So all the accounts which are related either to persons or to the institutions, we'll group them under the head which is the personal accounts. The second one is the real account, which is about the things. These things can be tangible, these can be intangible. But the things should be in use in the business, which means we are talking about the assets of the business. So here what we would be including is all those things or all those assets which are related to the business, which are used in the business. Examples of this would be cash account. Examples of this would be furniture. It would be land, building, plant, machinery, anything. Means all the assets would be clubbed under the second group, which is called as the real accounts. The third account would be the residual account. Residual in the sense that it would include all those elements which have not been covered under the personal accounts or the real accounts. Which means here we'll be talking about the income or the expenses or the gains and the profits. Now what are income? Say for example, you have received any commission, that's an income. So we would be recording it under the nominal accounts group. Expenses would be the salary paid, the commission paid, the discount allowed or the rent paid, electricity charges paid, labor wages paid. All these would be covered under the head which is nominal account. So if we are in a position to understand these three accounts, it would be very easy for us to know what the rules of accounting are or what are the rules of debit and credit. So when we talk about the rules related to all the personal accounts means all the accounts which are related to persons or institutions. Here the rule says debit the receiver and credit the giver, which means Any person who is a receiver of anything, his account has to be debited. Say for example, if I say in my business I paid to Mr. Ram, then Ram's account has to be debited. Why? Because when I paid to Mr. Ram, Ram is the receiver here. If I say I have received money from Shyam, Mr. Shyam, then Shyam is the giver of money, so his account has to be credited. It's as simple as this. What we need to do is, under the personal account, which is related to persons or institutions, any person who is receiving the money or receiving anything, his account has to be debited. Or any institution which is receiving something, its account has to be debited. Similarly, the person who is the giver, his account has to be credited. Now talking about the next account, which is the real account. The rule for real account says debit what comes into the business and credit what goes out of the business. Say for example, if I say furniture purchased, it has two accounts, one is furniture and the other one is cash, and both are covered under the real accounts group. So one account or one thing is coming inside the business and the other one is moving outside the business. So furniture comes into the business, so furniture account is to be debited. Cash, since it is going out of the business, its account has to be credited. So I would say in this transaction, the furniture account is to be debited and the cash account is to be credited. Then we come to the other account, which is the nominal account. As we have seen that the nominal account is nothing but something which is related to the income and expenses only. This is the residual account. Residual in the sense it doesn't cover the personal accounts or the real accounts, which means we talk about only the incomes, expenses, gains or profits. So here the rule says debit all the expenses and credit all the gains. When I say salary paid, which means salary account is to be debited. If I say commission received, I would say commission account is to be credited. If I say discount allowed, which means I have given the discount, it is to be debited. If I say discount received, this account has to be credited. So in this manner, what we will be doing is we will be debiting all the expenses and then we will be crediting all the incomes or gains. Now based upon these rules, let's take 4 or 5 transactions and let's see whether the concept of debit or credit is clear for us or not. So here are a few transactions. Let's look at these transactions one by one. The first transaction says Mr. Ajay started business with cash rupees 2 lakh. First thing that we need to do in any transaction is to identify the accounts. In this particular transaction, the two accounts which are involved is the cash which has come into the business, and the other one will be the capital account, which is nothing but the capital account of Mr. Ajay. Now if I talk about the cash account, it's a real account. And capital account, since name is involved here, I would say this is a personal account. Looking at the rules of real account, the rules of real account says debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Here we are talking about the cash. And if we look at this transaction, it clearly says that cash has come into the business in form of capital. So it comes in. What we need to do is we need to debit the cash account, and the other one would be automatically the account which is to be credited. And if we need to verify this is related to personal account. And what are the rules of personal account? The rules of personal account says debit the receiver and credit the giver. Here Mr. Ajay is giver of 2 lakh rupees in form of capital to the business. Ajay is giver, so his account is to be credited. Similarly, if we look at another transaction which says We opened a bank account in the State Bank of India by depositing rupees 20,000. Again, what we need to do is we need to find the two accounts involved here. What are the two accounts? One is the cash account and the other one is the bank account. And this bank account is having a name of State Bank of India. Again, this is related to real account. And what is happening to cash when we are depositing this money into the bank? Cash is moving out of the business and going to the bank. So since cash is going out, what we need to do is we need to credit the cash account. When we talk about the bank account, State Bank of India is a personal account. And State Bank of India is receiving the money. So what we do here is, in personal account, the rule says debit the receiver, credit the giver. Here the bank is receiving the money, so we would be debiting the bank's account. Moving on to the next transaction, it says purchased goods for rupees 10,000. Here the accounts involved are purchaser's account and the other account is cash account. What is purchase? It's an expense for us. And where do we record expenses? In the nominal account. What is cash? It's a real account. Now talking about the nominal account, the rule says debit all the expenses and losses. Since it's an expense, we have to debit this account. And automatically this becomes the account to be credited. And if we need to verify this, it says cash has moved out of the business. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Since the cash has moved out of the business, the cash account has to be credited. Now come to the next transaction, which says goods sold for rupees 15,000. The accounts which are involved here would be again the cash account and the other one would be the sales account. Cash, as we know, is a real account. Sales is something which is a type of income for the business, so this comes under the nominal account. What are the rules of real account? Debit what comes in. Whenever we sell any goods, cash comes into the business. So what we need to do is we need to debit the cash account. Similarly, sales is something which is a sort of revenue or income for the business. And for income, what we need to do, the nominal account rule says debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains. So we need to credit this account. It's very simple. Let's take the last example. Last type of transaction says electricity bill paid through check rupees 2,000. Here the accounts involved are the electricity expense account. And the other one is State Bank of India's account. Since it says payment is made by check. Payment being made by check means the bank would be paying on our behalf. So what would be the two accounts here? It would be the electricity expense account and the other one is State Bank of India account. Expenses are covered under the nominal accounts head. And State Bank of India, since name is involved here, we would say it's a personal account. Expenses, debit all the expenses. So this account would be debited, and personal account rule says debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now the payment would be given by the bank, though it's on our behalf. So we would be crediting this account. So the rules of debit and credit are very simple, provided you are in a position to find out which account it's talking about. The types of accounts would be personal account, real account or nominal account. So if you are in a position to bifurcate the transaction into any of these three accounts and then you apply the rules of this, what are the rules? It says for personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. For real accounts, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. For nominal account, debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the gains and profits. So based upon these three differentiation of these three accounts, we would be in a position to find out whether a particular account is to be debited or credited in the accounting process of recording. I hope the rules of debit and credit are clear for you. Thank you so much and bye.